Good Morning Abuja, only on the Unity Station, NTA Channel 5 Abuja. My name is Neka Igwe. Always a pleasure to be with you on the weekend edition of Good Morning Abuja. It's a beautiful Friday morning in the beautiful capital city of Nigeria, Abuja. Yes, it is still safe to say Happy New Month to you. Yesterday was Workers' Day. And here's a shout out to all the wonderful, hard-working civil servants of this great country. You all are the great MVPs. It is because of you that this country can go on to thrive. God bless you for all that you do. Well, we are going to start the show as usual with our motivational talk. Coach Simeon Ubong is standing by.
So you've embarked on the adventure of guiding a teenager through life's twists and turns. It's like sailing on charted waters, full of exciting discoveries and a few stormy pitches. I'm going to deal with 6 points which are very important. First is cracking the code of communication. Think of your teen as a vault of stories waiting to be unlocked. To crack the code, give them your undivided attention when they talk. No interrupting or flashing that I've got it all figured out. Try a new kind of questioning. Replace those yes or no questions with ones that require a bit more than a word. Peer pressure is a bit like an intricate plot twist. Discuss it openly. Share your wisdom and encourage them to make wise decisions. When words stumble, show patience. It's like waiting for the conclusion of an engaging book. Sometimes they need time to find the right words. Remember, grafting a strong parent-teen bond is like nurturing a delicate plant. It demands time, care, and a delicate balance of sunlight. Stay open, let's respect flow, and embrace this distinctive chapter of parenthood.
Welcome back. Thank you very much, Coach Simeon. Up next is exercise. Get up and go. Make that body happy. There you have them, words on marble. We'll take a short break. When we come back, our discussion segment will continue with promises to be very, very interesting today if you stay with us.
Eyes for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for thawab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to your weekly guide, Light of Islam. I am Aisha Ahmed.
As Muslims, we know that in Islam, time is a very good and important commodity that we have.
Believe in the angels of God as one of the 6 articles of faith.
Farmers are made in form rows, and how the rows are made is such that the Imam stands in front and then right behind him.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Light of Islam. Keep watching Light of Islam NTA channel.
That is for zakah to cure our greed when we give our money to those in need.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Up next is a discussion into the world of health. I'm always interested to discuss health because health is wealth and paramount to whatever we can do or achieve as human beings. Up next, we'll be discussing all about antenatal care. Helping me to do that is a nurse, a midwife. She's also a success coach in Kiruka. Love it, Okonkwo. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, ma.
Start by telling us what antenatal care is all about.
Okay, when we talk about antenatal care, I will talk about the general care given to a woman, and it is in 3 diversified areas. We have antenatal care, intranatal, and then we have the postnatal care. Antenatal being the one you give when the woman is still pregnant. That is when the baby is not yet out. And then intranatal being the one you give during pregnancy, and postnatal after birth. So generally, antenatal care, which can also be prenatal care, is defined as the medical support or help you give to a woman during pregnancy in order to ensure the health or the positive health and outcome of the pregnancy, so that both the mother and the baby will be in good condition after delivery.
Why is this so crucial, to the health of a pregnant woman?
Yeah, antenatal care is very crucial to the health of a woman, because if there is any issues or mistakes along that line, it will definitely cost either the health of the mom or the health of the child. Now, antenatal care is very important because it helps us to detect the complications that can come up when a woman is pregnant. It can help us to also ensure that there is low risk of mortality or morbidity when the child or the baby is born, when the child or baby is born. So antenatal care, without antenatal care, if there is a problem along the line, nutritional deficiencies and all that, it can affect. So you see someone carrying a pregnancy for 9 good months and losing it. Most times we even lose the mother along the process. So it's very, very crucial that we talk about it and people make sure that antenatal care is something they always go to and they keep to the rules of the game.
At what point should a pregnant woman start attending these clinics?
Yeah, the World Health Organization recommends that you go to antenatal care before 12 weeks. There is something we call trimesters. The first 3 months of pregnancy, second 3 months, and the third 3 months. So in the first trimester is like 12 weeks, 4 weeks, of course, every month. So now, before 12 weeks of that pregnancy, a woman should have started antenatal care. Why? Because during those periods, we have to note what is the condition of the baby, what is the condition of the mother, so that it will help you to be able to understand and help to bridge the gap of any complication or potential complication that will come up. Now, it is also recommended that once you notice that you are pregnant, because some persons, when they get pregnant, they don't even know. After some weeks are gone, before the person starts feeling signs and all that. So once you notice you are pregnant, start antenatal care. Because if you start, it will enable the medical professionals to be able to ensure that, oh, this is this, and then we can tackle it on time. Early detection, that's what I'm bordering on. Thank you.
Nice. So what are some of the tests and services that a woman will receive during this visit?
Yeah, if you come for antenatal care visits, what we do basically, we check your physical conditions. In that physical condition, we do a lot of things. We take the blood pressure measurement. We check the sugar levels in order to rule out gestational diabetes. That is diabetes that comes up because of pregnancy. Then we also do a lot of laboratory investigations, especially blood tests, in order to rule out the presence of infections, during pregnancy, because someone might be infected without knowing, maybe with STIs. It can be chlamydia, it can be syphilis and all that. So when the person comes and, for instance, syphilis, if a woman has syphilis without knowing and she's pregnant, it can affect the eyes of the baby. The baby can even be born blind. Yes. Wow. So we need to check. As in, those the things are the major things we do when you come for antenatal. Other things basically that we do here is nutrition, health education. We give them health education. This is what first-time mothers that are second-time, third-time mothers, we tell them this is what and what you're supposed to eat. This is what and what you're not supposed to eat. And health is basically a whole process. It's not physical when you take care of physical. No, if you don't take care of physical, well, psychological is already at risk. Yes. Same thing with sociological part. So all particular part of that woman person is taken care of. So we talk to them, we know what their problem is, and then we can give them the care they needed. Every care is distinct for every individual.
Wow, yes. Nice. So from your experiences over the years, would you say that there are some misconceptions that people have, especially Nigerian women, that they have about antenatal visits?
Of course, they have many misconceptions. Some persons don't come. They would tell you that this is a means whereby the hospital wants to take our money. What is the need? I'm no longer a first-time mother. One of the misconceptions that I'm first-time, because I'm first-time mother, okay, let me go. When the person is now have given birth to the first child, and during the second child, the person takes care of themselves at home. Some of them even go to extent of going to TBAs. We call them traditional birth attendants. What they do, because they have skill, is something have done for years, but they don't know they don't know the reason why they do what they do. The same thing with auxiliary nursing. The person can just call, okay, please come to my house, or my wife is pregnant. The person will run and go to their house and take the delivery. If there is any complication, the mother's health and the child's health is at risk. So some of these conceptions are they don't need, there is no need to go to the hospital. Is it not, is this the first time I'm pregnant? Another conception is the things they eat. Most of them, they don't even, they tell you that this is the way my mother take care of me. After all, my great-grandmother, this is the way he took care of my mother, and nothing happened. So they tend to stay at home and tell us that nutrition education and those education we give there, that they don't need it. Some will say, I will go to Google and Google them, and ChatGPT is there for us. But all these things are misconceptions, because health is distinct. If your body system and his body system are not the same. So if I take care of you, there are things about you that he doesn't have. You understand? So that is what they don't understand. It is most of these misconceptions that they come with, that they don't need healthcare. That is a means whereby the Nigerian hospitals want to get their money from them. Yes.
How sad.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned rural areas. Would you say that our rural areas have enough antenatal care? And what can we do to improve?
Okay, I wouldn't say that they have, because I once worked in a rural health area. Most times there is improper monitoring. The healthcare professionals don't even go to work because there is improper monitoring. And these women in rural health areas, they don't actually know what they should do about their health. Some of them really want to know, but there is no way they can know. So I think that there is a need to provide proper health centers that is well equipped. Most of them they are not equipped. Most of them, when you go there, you see rats, you see a lot of rodents running around, because for months it left unlocked. It's not that it's not functional. It's functional, but the health professionals that are supposed to work there are not going there. The next thing is trying in these rural regions. You see basically traditional birth attendants. You see people that don't really have the knowledge why they do what they do. Scientific techniques, that backed up, or the evidence is backed up the things they carry out, is not there. So what they are interested in is in the money. And because the woman in question, the rural woman in question, wouldn't want to go to a hospital, she would want to go and patronize the traditional health attendant or the person that is not skilled. Now, another major thing is transportation and distance. Most time, it is far from their homes. And if it's far from their homes, it makes them relent. They will go to the person. They can even call them to come to their homes to take the delivery. So these are most of the things that I think there should be a need to monitor the rural health regions and give them more, and try to provide more professionals so that they will be taken good care of. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for coming. But before you go, finally, I want you to advise caregivers, husbands, family members, and relatives. What can we do, to encourage more women to take antenatal care?
Okay, thank you so much. I want to encourage the husband first, because most of the time I've met situations whereby the women in question might have given birth to like 5 kids, and all of them are girls, and the husband is interested in a male child. So the husband already knew that probably a male child is not coming, and before you know, the level of love and attention given to that woman in the first pregnancy has dwindled. So most times when the woman now give birth to the child and the sixth child is still a girl, it's become most times don't even see the man again. They will just go. So the love and attention is necessary. I encourage all husbands to go to antenatal care with your wives. Encourage them to go. It is necessary. It is not about physical process, about the pregnancy. It's about the psychological. If the woman is not in good psychological condition, there is no how that pregnancy will come out well. Yes, I also tell our caregivers there is a need for using the social media to pass on these messages. Most of the healthcare professionals, they are busy. They work in big hospitals. Some of them that doesn't even work. Most times they are stressed, and because of that, they won't even sometimes don't know anything about coming up to speak on social media. These women need us. Social media is one of the major ways that you can disperse information. Anybody, no matter where they stay, they can have access to that information. So I encourage us to speak more about health. Let us tell these women what they need to know. I also encourage mothers. It is still good to keep thriving. People that haven't gotten male child, you don't have a male child doesn't mean that you wouldn't something is wrong with you. No, there are processes to that. Ask questions. Meet professionals. It will help you to know where your problem is. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
And keep up the good work with humanity.
Thank you so much.
That was Nkiruka Lovett Okonkwo. She's a nurse and a midwife, and also a success mentor and coach. I hope you learned a thing or two there. Well, what more can I say? It is awful indeed that a woman should die bringing, another life for whatever reason. Stay with us. The show continues. It is still Good Morning Abuja.
La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah.
With peace and blessings of Allah be upon each and every one of us. It's another fantastic Friday evening, and you're welcome to NTA Channel 5 Abuja.
First of all, you train yourself, you educate yourself, then you educate your family, and then the community at large.
Fundamentals of Islam Live, showing 7:30 p.m. every Friday on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity Station. Join us.
Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Welcome back. Good to know you're still with us. It's still the weekend edition of Good Morning Abuja. Well, how much do you know about life coaches and how you can help to get the very best of your relationship with them? Up next, I will be discussing with a life coach who will help us to explore the topic, helping clients to achieve their set goals. Let us welcome Jerry or Jeje David. Did I get your name right? I hope I did.
Of course.
Thank you for coming on the show, and good morning to you.
Good morning.
First, tell us, who is a life coach?
A life coach is someone who helps someone actualize their goal. At each step of the way, such coaches helps you to identify problems, helps you to see the bigger picture. Because with a life coach, you can see more than you have seen. For instance, I could see that I have the ability to sing music, or I could see that I have the ability to possibly write books. A life could help you to see some of the lapses, helps you to see some of the things you can do better, some of the things you can improve, how you can improve. So he knows the way, he leads you through that path, and not just leading you in front. He can hold your hands side by side because there is personal interaction with such a person.
A clarity mentor.
Yes.
Interesting. Now, what inspired you to go into life coaching?
What has inspired me into life coaching was where I grew up, I discovered that most of the people around my vicinity, because of the lack of people who they can actually open up to, people have aspirations. I've seen children 15, 12 years, 20 years have aspirations, but they cannot achieve it. Why? Because of possibly societal norms, societal pressures. And some of them sometimes, because they cannot share this their vision, they tend to turn into robbery, smoking, all manner of addiction, which does not help them become better. So I felt it is important that if you have an idea about something, you can lead people. You can tell them that this thing is possible, irrespective of what you go through each day, irrespective of what you have seen, irrespective of the background you are coming from. I know possibly you might not have the proper education. I know possibly you might not have the proper idea to achieve what you want. But honestly, you can achieve. I believe honestly you can do better. So definitely I got spoiled, I got inspired, and I know this could be possible.
Interesting. In the past, some of us used to think about life coaches as old people with gray hair, with a lot of years of experience, to unleash to the younger generation. But here you are, young and thriving as a life coach. Tell me about your coaching philosophy and your approaches.
I believe anything done consistently with strategy grows. I also believe with the right mentor and leadership, you can grow because according to John C. Maxwell, he said leadership is influence. I have the ability to influence your ideology because I am your leader. Since I am ahead of you, I can influence. So it means I have the proper ideologies, I have the proper lifestyle, I have the proper vision to lead you to where I'm going to. For instance, the NTA station is 47 years old. Why? Because there was a leader who led them, who was strategic, who was visionary. If there was no such a leader, people definitely wouldn't have thrived.
Interesting. How do you stay current with best practices, and continuing education in life coaching?
One of the ways is you have to observe trends. That's one. Two, you have to maximize the internet stage. Three, I ensure that whenever there is a new ideology circulating, I probe it. Does this ideology benefit the next generation? Will it help us become better? Not because a philosophy happened was proper 20 years ago, but now no. You have to keep evolving. So when there is an information, you compare facts from past experiences because the past holds a key to the future. It is certain things that you have overcome with certain strategies from the past. You can unlock the future. So if something new is coming up, for instance, there was no TikTok 20 years ago, and now there is TikTok. How does TikTok influence the mindset of the people? So you tend to teach people how to maximize TikTok to become better. So each trends you have studied, you have read books of 20 years, books of 50 years. What about the current information? You interact with kids. Formally, how do we interact with kids? How do we interact with teenagers? How do we interact with mature people to get their mind towards a particular matter? Of course, it is now evolving. Before there was a cultural norm where you have to beat a child, stone him, hit him, break his head. Why did you do this? But now there's now a parent to child interaction. Here come, I know you might be going through adolescence. This could be this. We can work it this way. What kind of phone do you use? Why are you using this phone? Instead of scolding, you are not supposed to use phone. Why are you on Facebook? There is now an interaction between both parties.
Interesting. Speaking of TikTok, do you leverage other technologies to boost what you do and get to new spaces?
Oh yes, I do. I believe that if you don't maximize those social media platforms, I have discovered that the future generation are the young ones. The young ones. It's not those people 50, 60, 70. So how do you reach these people? Most of them, they spend 7 to 8 hours online. So what do? I tend to push on content on the online space. So whenever I'm going online, I ensure that the content I produce evolve their mindset. I believe so much in changing the mindset of the grassroots. If you discover, you will see a lot of people today, they are into Yahoo. They believe there is a mindset that if I don't make money through internet scam, I won't become wealthy, I won't become rich. But now there is a mindset from somebody who pushes it online that you can clearly make money with strategic things you do, with evolving your mind, getting a skill, learning, and keep improving consistently. With that, definitely you to be evolved.
Now let's talk about how you help your clients to achieve results. How do you help them target specific goals and achieve them?
First off, I have to build a personal relationship with them. Who are you? What's your name? First of all, you must understand that there are certain clients. The problem is not from the company. The problem is from their mind. The problem is from their personal life. Somebody can be having a bad day in office, and you might think the person is doing anyhow. Mind you, that person maybe just got divorced, lost his child. So first of all, there is a personal interaction. First, I need to know if you have a sound mind. Justin Maso wrote a book, The Battlefield of the Mind. If you can win the mind, it was Josiah. Josiah said something. He said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So if I care much about you, you will tend to listen to what I say, because you know it is not a selfish interest, number one, to fill my pocket or to raise my ego. It is an interest to help you become better. So when I know that you have personal issues, I now find a way to ensure you have a sound mind. We can now talk about your company. Okay, what are your goals for your company? These are my goals. I want to reach social audience. How do you reach such audience? What are the strategies you have been implementing? What are the loopholes? Can we fix it? Who are your team members? What are they doing properly? What are they not doing properly? When is the resumption time? So we have a personal information about the structure, the leadership structure of the organization. Once that is done, we can now bring out solutions from the company and from our experiences.
In your line of work, I'm guessing there's a need for you to also respect boundaries while relating with your clients. How do you handle boundaries and make sure you're not unnecessarily encroaching into areas they don't want you to?
Oh, beautiful. One has to understand that people have their personal biases. If I'm meeting someone possibly from a different tribe or from a different ethnicity, I have to understand that there is a limit to which I'll have certain conversations with you. I need to understand your cultural understanding, your cultural limitations. I need to understand that if you are married, when should you be having conversation? I can't call a married woman by 9:30, 10 p.m. trying to give a counsel. Why? On what ground? The husband is there. It might be a genuine, remember, sincerity is not enough. It might be a genuine counsel, but then what is it doing to the home? Why is my wife picking a call by 9:30 p.m.? So it is advisable that there is structure. There is a time frame to which we will talk, and there are places we cannot meet because we need to have an open conversation. We need to ensure that emotions don't get involved when we are speaking to the opposite clients. So I believe healthy boundaries should be maintained. Okay, we're having a conversation on this matter professionally. This is what we are dealing with. If there are certain matters we need to handle, it has to involve other parties who will not be liable to mistakes that we might make.
Nice. Because of want of time, before you go and ask your advice to the audience, at what point does one need to go engage a life coach?
I believe once a child can hear, can talk, can listen, you can start influencing the thought of that child. If you check our society today, you check our environment today, a child of 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years, if you watch some of the songs they sing, sometimes you are shocked. Where did you learn it from? So once your child can listen, start talking to that child. Start telling that child what is right and what is wrong. You need to start influencing. So you must not wait until the child becomes a teenager. There are ways you can communicate certain things seriously, playfully. It's possible. So we need to start influencing our children from the grassroots. Some parents, you tend to be very, very careless because if they are going to school. What are they learning in school? They are meeting their friends, possibly who are corrupt. So when you start influencing your child from that tender age, I bet you they will come out a wonder.
Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
Well, I like how he ended it there. Life coaching should be something intentional that parents especially should, start doing for their children as soon as they come of reasonable age. Well, stay with us. It's still Good Morning Abuja. Another short break and we'll be back.
For Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And tha is for thawab, a reward. J is for Jannah, the garden of
Assalamu
paradise.
alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to your weekly guide, Light of Islam. I am Aisha Ahmed.
As Muslims, we know that in Islam, time is a very good and important commodity that we have.
Believe in the angels of God as one of the 6 articles of faith.
Islamism may inform rows, and how the rows are made is such that the Imam stands in front and then right behind him.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Light of Islam. Keep watching Light of Islam, NTA channel 5.
That is for zakah, to cure our greed, when we give our money to those in need.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Well, at this point, we have another opportunity yet again, to discuss business and entrepreneurship. I mean, what's an economy without money circulating? What's even a weekend without a little money to, spend and throw around and just make yourself comfortable? So we will go into the world of business and entrepreneurship to discuss building business strategies. I have a specialist in the house as my guest. He will help me to explore this very important topic. Let us make welcome Mr. Godwin Oyelekon Idowu.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, man.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yes.
You are an entrepreneur and you're also a philanthropist running a foundation. Tell me what prompted you to go into this line of business.
Maybe a profession.
Okay.
When you go to school, you have a line of study. I started from the scratch, from the technical college, went to polytechnic, and graduated in reading technical subjects. So after graduation, worked with a few companies who are in building, construction. So. And afterwards, I get liberated, started mine, and started working. That's how I get into, contracting, doing some construction works, maintenance, renovation, building construction, and the rest of them.
Okay. So now, in this line of profession that you have chosen, how do you manage these business operations, including scheduling, and estimations? How do you handle all of that?
Estimating, you have to be current in the sense that you must know what the market says. You don't just go and accept a job and at the end of the day you are not able to finish because either you underestimated or you didn't get the right material. There are specifications. Those who are giving you what will come with specifications. You have to be current first and foremost, and you must know what the market says, so that you don't shoot yourself on the leg. So at the end of the day, you'll start it. Even if you go to the Bible, it says you must count your costs. You must know what it is. So first and foremost, you must be current. You must know what the market says. You must know where to source. Because if you are working in Abuja, especially, and then your product, what you are going to use is in Lagos. The price is S Lagos. How do you bring it here? All those things must be factored into whatever you are doing. Otherwise, at the end of the day, you won't be able to deliver.
So you have to take all those decisions that will maximize profits.
Thank you. Otherwise, you will labor.
You won't break even. Nice. You also run a foundation in honor of your beautiful late wife, the Gloria Idowu Foundation.
Yes.
Tell me what prompted you to do this and how fulfilling has it been?
Okay. She died just some days before her 60th birthday.
Oh.
And first and foremost, she's a trained counselor, a school teacher, a school administrator, a trained teacher anyway. So she works among children. So she has intended to go to an orphanage to celebrate with children in the orphanage for her 60th birthday.
Okay.
And but she passed just some few days before then. So after her passing, our children decided to turn it to a foundation and enlarge the scope.
Wow.
Enlarge the scope because he has gathered items he wants to take to the orphanage. So enlarge the scopes to going to a village. And this time around, the first one was Goza village on the airport road. Went with medical outreach, which over 800 people were attended to.
Wow. And
went with, of course, welfare materials to attend to the needy. We saw there that, honestly, in this part of, even on the airport road and in the city center, very close to, the nation's capital, very close to the city center, you see people who are seriously passing through serious challenges, especially people who are sick and they cannot afford medications. You cannot afford medication. We saw a lot of them there. But we are thinking of going back to the same place because it's like we were overwhelmed when we got there. The crowd was much. So at the end of the day, we have to close the curtains. We may have to go back to that place.
I think it's a beautiful way to honor her memory. It's a really loving way, and she will be so pleased.
Thank you very much.
Now, talk to me about any challenging projects that you have particularly gone through, and how were you able to surmount and overcome?
Okay, this clients and relationship is very, very important. When you have a relationship with your client, if you run into a challenge, if you run into a problem, it can be resolved amicably. And then there's a particular project we're on. I said earlier that you must first be current, you must scan the trends and know what the price is. But we've got to a stage whereby the fund provided cannot carry that stage of the project. And more funds are being released. So we have to, when go back to this thing cannot. What happened? Let me first and foremost return the money you have given me. So I returned the money to her, and we couldn't continue on that project. But you see, years later, this person called me for another bigger project because we settled amicably the last time when we had a problem.
So you'd agree that a positive communication.
Yes, there must be communication. There must be report at every stage. Every stage, yes.
Tell me about how you approach projects planning, and what steps do you take to ensure that this project is completed on time? Within the budget.
Time. It's like, I started as a factory worker in the 80s. And you discover that in the factory we have what we call division of labor. But the management, everybody is studying today, they were technical people that started this management. They are factory workers. You do this, you do this, you do this. That's which you must have done at the beginning of the project. And there are stages that must be duly followed. If you miss one, you are likely to run into serious problem. Of course, you can't be a novice. You're going to is like, even when you go to the market, you must be an apprentice. So you must have learned and know the stages of every other project you get. If you are not well informed and you run into it, then you are going to run into trouble.
Tell me about work ethics. It's very important in your line of business, work ethics and ensuring that you're up to date with regulatory requirements. How do you take charge of that?
Yes, from the beginning, especially, let me, for example...
It's part of your scheduling and planning.
For example, in the city center here in Abuja, you cannot go into a project without approaching the necessary regulatory authorities. They must come at every stage to inspect and approve. When that is not carried out, then you are going to run into trouble also at the end of the project. So there are regulatory bodies and there are regulations that must be followed. And if you don't want to run into trouble, you must follow them. Thank you.
And before you go, would you categorically say that you find fulfillment in your job, in your profession, and also combining it with running this foundation in memory of your dear wife?
Yes, when you go and they give you completion certificates
for a project.
I'm sure you.
That's your reward.
You have this one. You didn't stop halfway. It is completed.
You saw it to the finish line.
Whether or not you make so much on it, but it's like a testimony you can point to later. I was the one that did this. I was the one that did this. I was the one that did that also. And you were asking about this.
The foundation. How fulfilling has it been?
Oh, when we came back from Gosa, we have testimonies. When people start calling and said, we are grateful, if not for you, if not for the fact that you came, if not for the efforts made, I couldn't have afforded either this medication. People are going with relief material, they are laughing and enjoying it. Some children ran to the village because there were packages for children. And by the time they got to the village, crowds surfaced.
And finally, do you hope to sustain it?
Yes. Yes. If not twice a year, at least once in a year, we'll visit new places.
Maybe around her birthday.
Around, yes.
Around her birthday. Well, I have to thank you so much for coming on the show. You're a perfect example in perseverance, in focus, and strategic hard work. Thank you so much for coming and inspiring us. Thank you so much. I've been speaking with Mr. Godwin Oyeneko Ido. He's an entrepreneur and also a philanthropist. I learned a whole lot speaking with him. Hope I can say the same for you. We'll take a short break. At this point, we'll be right back. Guess what? Interestingly, the man himself is live with me in the house. And we'll be delving into his interesting and exciting world of music and a whole lot of other stuff that he does. Omidon is in the building.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
It's so nice to have you here.
Yeah, same here.
Tell me what motivated you. I always like to find out, how did you delve into the exciting world of music and the genres that you're interested in?
Actually, it's been a long time coming for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see music as a platform where you educate people, talk about life, help people to go through something that they're going through, like, you know how to tell them your story, you know how to relate to them, make them feel like you share the plight and what they don't been through in a lifetime, or probably somebody going through addiction or poverty or stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't just all about rapping about girls and talking about money. There'll be a lot of rap about it in the music industry. So I just see music as a platform where I can change life, influence people for the better, you know what I'm saying?
I wish we had time for you to give me some rhymes and flows, but we don't. But before I let you go, take a look at the music industry in Nigeria very briefly. What do you think we can do differently to make it work better?
What I think we can do differently is quite simple. We need to diversify, the music industry, like the face of music industry in the world, like in the diaspora, is really said to be that Nigerians do a lot of Afrobeat.
Yep.
We don't have if you do a thorough research on the industry, you're gonna find that a lot of our legendary rappers are like falling out of the game. You know what I'm saying? So I feel the music industry in Nigeria is really focused on the Afrobeat a lot, and that's what the problem is. When you go to like America, you have the likes of Usher, Chris Brown, T-Pain, they're singing, and you have the likes of Rick Ross, Dr. Dre, Eminem, and all of them. So they just try. The main point is they're evolving and they're growing together. But in Nigeria, you're gonna have to find that it's only one side of music that is growing, which is the Afrobeat.
But I think it's evolving. Afrobeat is evolving too.
It's evolving,
they're infusing new dynamics and sounds to it.
Yeah, but truth be told, it ain't evolving like it's supposed to be, if you ask me. Because we're supposed to be, carrying everybody along and doing everything together.
Fusion.
Yeah, like if you know this, most of these endorsement deals coming up from all these companies and all of that, it's always strictly focused on the Afrobeat singers. Like I ain't seen them how to do it like in a long time, like an endorsement deal or overdose, all these other rappers, but it's strictly on the one-sided level. So we need to explore and all the genres of music. That's where you're going to see the beauty in the game, the beauty in the craft of music. Like you come out as a rapper, I come out as a reggae singer, you come out as an Afrobeat singer, Afro pop, Afro soul.
Beautiful fusion.
Yeah, so everybody gonna thrive in their own space.
Okay, Omidon in the building, everyone. Before you go, finally, I want you to do a brief one for us. Give us a freestyle with "Good Morning Abuja."
Start again.
Okay, guys, Omidon in the building. Before I let you go, I want you to do a freestyle for us, a quick one. Something with "Good Morning Abuja."
All right. Yo, good morning, Abuja. On me down in the zone, the baddest rapper in the flow on the microphone. Yo, you're about to witness the realest rapper out in this rap game. The old still killing the mic, flipping them tracks, man. A lot of dudes hating on the player, staying wishing while I climb high like elevators. What I do is fire over the roof. My rhymes, the sound will blow, smashing your tooth. I'm tougher than you, I pop bullets. Talking about me and hotter than Jet Li, you can catch me with fine jewelers. I could become yak and stop my flow. When I catch me on the track, I know it's about to blow, and that's for sure. Cause I'm fresh from head to toe. When I wake up in the morning, all I smell is the dough. Hey yo, it's Omidon on the MIC. Try to battle a rapper like me. It's R.I.P. You dig?
Right, Omidon and Good Morning Abuja. Thank you very much.
I'm grateful.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hello friends, welcome to Kiddies Zone. My name is Omarade with Erse. Here with me is
Oguntayo. I am Kwasi Justina, and today we have many fun things in store for you.
I had so much fun and I hope you had fun.
Exactly, it was exciting, especially when I saw the lion, orchids, and buffaloes.
Welcome back. Well, like I always say, the weekend is usually a fantastic time. Perfect opportunity to, just relax with your whole family. And on our lineup of movies, our movie thrillers for the weekend is a beautiful one that I particularly love, How to Train Your Dragon Part 2. It's a lovely, beautiful movie that the whole family can sit together and watch. It's baby friendly too. Why don't you take a look at this movie plus the other two for the movie thriller for the weekend?
When you carry this axe, you carry all of us with you.
Dad, I can't kill dragons.
But you will. I'm a Viking. I'm a Viking!
It's okay. I won't hurt you.
Ká má parọ́, mo rẹwà nínú aṣọ yìí.
Ibo ti rí.
Kan nú àwọn olùkọ́ iléèwé ló fi ta mí lọ́rẹ.
Arẹwà obìnrin ogun alágbára ìlú kò sí. Wọ́n máa retí àǹfààní láti jọ ní ìbáṣepọ̀ tó dánmọ́rán.
Arẹwà ọkùnrin ní jayé ọba. Mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀ dénúdénú.
Wo Làbákẹ́, ṣó ṣe ṣe kí mi àti ẹ mọ́ pàdé mọ́?
Adé bọ́ lájọṣepọ̀ lábẹ́ òrùlé mi.
Ogun tí mi ò mọ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ṣé wàá fẹ́ kí n lọ kúkú?
Ìpín rẹ̀ mọ̀ ni.
Mo fi ọ́ joyè akọgun ìlú kò sí lápò ní lọ. Kábíyèsí ẹyẹ kàánú wa ọ̀rọ̀ tí ń bẹ lẹ́yìn kẹ́ bá a dá sí. Wọ́n ń kó wa lọ́jà inú fu ẹ̀dọ̀ fu la fi ń lò.
Lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí, ẹ ó yọ̀ǹda èmi àtàwọn ọmọ ogun mi.
Ẹ̀ẹ̀kan ni ọmọ Akin kú.
Àjàṣẹ́tẹ̀ là ó jà, wọ́n sì dá òkú ìlú lọ. padà. lónìí ni wọ́n fi hàn án tẹ́gbọ̀n ní dúkàrà dúkọ̀rọ̀ kí jẹ́wọ́jẹ́wọ́ rẹ̀ mọ́ mi.
Welcome back. I can't get enough of How to Train Your Dragon. I can watch that movie over and over and not get tired of it. I would advise you to, make it a family movie for this weekend. Up next is the weather forecast. Abuja is beginning to be so beautiful, so cool, so breezy. The weather is now calm and I am just loving it. But let's take a look at the weather forecast for today. There you have it, the weather report, and it's a wrap on this beautiful edition of Good Morning Abuja. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend. Get that rest so that your body can really, truly rejuvenate, be restored for better productivity. Join us again on Monday, bright and early, as we commence yet another time on the show. My name is Nneka Igwe. I'll see you again very, very soon. Until then, be blessed. Bye for now.
Welcome to a journey back in time, where style and soul collide. Afro Old School, a timeless crown of glory. The Afro wig, it's not just hair,